Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I ain't even gonna take too much time getting into it. Let's just start off. Yamaha R9 definitely got released, fully unveiled. All the specs, all the looks. We know everything about it right now. Like I left y'all on the last video, I told y'all I'm getting it. I'm just coming. It's no hiding, no secrets, no game playing. That's the next motorcycle that you're gonna see on the channel. Matter of fact, I'm doing so much to make sure that I'm probably one of the first people to get it here in my area. I've already pre-ordered it and put 2 deposits down at 2 different dealerships, and I just went to the 3rd dealership just a few minutes ago. Cause I want that bike real bad. As you can see, I have 7 motorcycles here. That's just in here. Backyard, I got probably 3 or 4 more. Matter of fact, 3 more, because I gave one to my nephew. He said he really wanted it. I let him have it. I'm a Yamaha dude. I have had other bikes. I've been riding probably 22 something years. Me owning, and I put my rider date at what I owned when I bought and owned my first motorcycle. It was 2003, and I bought the first version of this motorcycle right here, brand new, straight from the dealership, Yamaha Galindo Street in Concord. Catherine was my salesperson, and I went out the door with that motorcycle with no license. I've had a Ducati 848. Had a 636 that I hated, had a 600RR that I hated. The rest literally have all been Yamahas. I do want an Aprilia, but I just haven't felt like it's been the need so strong that I need to buy an Aprilia. I want one, I just have never bought one. There was one point in time though, because I went R6 crazy, I had every model R6, all 3 of them, 02, 03, and 06. 600 class was dope. They sound fresh. At the time, the technology was most advanced in those bikes versus the leader bikes at the point in time. My main reason for going to 1000 is because all of my homeboys had leader bikes. So I bought this. I don't need all the power. I just need to be clean as hell and have some power. But what really taught me about motorcycling is these 2 dorks. Dork 1, Dork 2. Fabulous amount of riding that could be done on these motorcycles. So why didn't I get the R7? For what? It was a big ass R3. And also, because I'm old school, R7 nameplate rings a bell. It holds way more weight to me. Ain't no R7 gonna come out with 2 cylinders that I'm gonna say I'm a buy. It's not happening. Looming on the horizon was the R9. And I even said a couple of weeks ago when the R1 came out with the winglets, damn, they might get me. I might buy this R1 because what they improved on the R1 was the brakes and the shocks. Everything was fantastic on the standard model. You don't need an R1M. I almost was at that point that I was going to spend that bread. But I told my homies, wait, I'm going to wait a couple more weeks. If they don't unveil the R9, I'm going to get this R1. And what they did is they rolled it on out. They got that R9, baby. So this is what's going to fill this spot. If you think about it, right? The Super Sport class has been the same for a long time. It's pretty much mundane. It's pretty much boring. The riders can ride the hell out of them. The task of the motorcycles never changed. How you use them never changed. But from a consumer standpoint, I'm never really going to be hyped to go to a dealership to look at an R6. So for Yamaha coming out with a brand new model that does not have any previous ties on the nameplate, the R9 has never been used before. We got it coming. They're using a triple. The triple engine sounds amazing. That's really one of the biggest sell points to me. The engine sounds great. The chassis is a brand new chassis. Everybody thinks that it's an MT-09 with fairings slapped on it. I'll show you, the biggest key point to me is the frame. The frame was redone. We just were at the dealership and the MT-09 frame is a very thin piece of cast aluminum. It's really weird. I never thought that it was like that. But if I could show you, like, these frames are full pieces. It's a back and a front side and hollow in the middle, but it's a big, chunky, sturdy thing. A MT-09's frame is like it's like the subframe. It's a thin, brittle little stamped piece of aluminum that looks like this on the outside, but the inside, it might as well be fairings. It's like that. It's stupid. The MT-09 is a whole different bike from the R9. That's the impressive thing. They took the time, they made a new frame, new mounting points for the engine, new bulkhead for the triple tree to go through. It's a whole new bike. It just uses an MT-09 engine. Technology's there, new design language. It's cool as hell. Needless to say, the R7 is a MT-07 with fairings on it. The R9 is a whole different thing. So different direction for Super Sport. They moved away from the R6, the nameplate, and the performance configuration, being the inline 4 600cc. This one produced 115, but has 45 pound-feet of torque. The most powerful R6 is a 0708. It has 127 horsepower, 44 torque, and it's pretty light. It's got 367 dry weight, so I say around 420, 417 for wet weight. Your torque came in at about 11.5, shit like that. People say you have to really wring their necks to get the fun out of them and all that. Nah, not that version, but the later ones started to be like that. The later models actually have far less horsepower. See, they peaked in 07. 07, 08, they peaked. Then they dropped down from 127 horsepower to 117 horsepower. So with 117 horsepower being what they dealt with at 43 pound-feet of torque, that's what the guys were racing with. They're out there sending it, trying to beat the hell out their motorcycles and race versus Ducatis. The Ducatis got 155 horsepower and 70-something pound-feet of torque. Well, now we got something to compete. The R9, it has 117 horsepower, same as the R6, but it has 70 pound-feet of torque. Guarantee it. If you tune it, you're going to get a lot out of it. A lot of people will be like, oh, it only revs to 11.5. That doesn't matter. Ducati only revs to 11.5, but it's beating the trash out of the R6. Even though, good shout out to Matthew Scopes. He got the championship on the R6, and that was just a good way to send a farewell to the R6 chassis in Moto America. So anyway, needless to say, man, we got technology, we got Bluetooth connectivity, we got phones, we got navigations, we got your music all on your dashboard. That just stepped, even the R1 doesn't have that. That just steps the Yamaha R model into the new world. It steps it up. It steps it across that threshold as a good technologically advanced motorcycle. It's just not the fastest. But guess what? It's a super sport. It is a 900cc, or it's actually an 890, but it's a super sport class motorcycle. It's not a super bike. The R1 is going to be revamped, but it's just on the backslide of that model. They came out with that R1 2015, so it's about to be like terribly old. It's 10 years old for that model R1. It got a revamp for fairings, but it's 10 years old. It needs to be revamped. It's a decade old. So the things that I'm excited about is just to play around with a lot of torque, have the dope sounds. The bike sounds great. You got technology to play with. I never ride any of these bikes on the street because I'm not inspired to ride them on the street. They're just weapons. Go hard, go fast, go crazy. That's it. This is my favorite model R1. That's why I bought this one. People have asked me why I don't get the newer one. I don't like the new one like that. They're cool. I love them as a bike, but I love this for me. I copped that. These were on accident, and I fell in love with these. These are great. These are fantastic. These teach you a lot. They're beginner bikes. But this R9 is the reset to the series. This is the reset to the class. This is the reset to the Evolution. And I got to get my hands on it. So I've got 2 allocations already. Next week, I'll get the production numbers. One spot is moving way faster than the other, but I do have confirmation that I'm number 1 on the list on 2 spots. The third place I went to, they said they got too many racers that called him today asking about him, so he's not going to take pre-orders, but I'm somewhere in the mix. Plus, I live 10 minutes down the road, so I'll be damned if one comes in there and I don't see it. For the other 2 places, I already got my money down for them, and I'm number 1 on the list, so I don't have to fight about that. So guaranteed I'm getting one, guys. It's an MT-09's power plant anyway, so I've already got sprockets for it. I got clip-ons coming because it's a 43 millimeter front fork. The rear sets are adjustable. I really like Yamaha's factory adjustable rear sets. Move them up, move them down. That gives you a good base plate on where to put your legs at, but it just helps improve with the rider triangle. I think, given how the belly pan looks, I think the MT-09 exhaust that I have in mind will work, but we'll see. I'll buy it. If it doesn't fit like I want to, then maybe I'll see what we have in store. But I do see exhaust manufacturers already had the bike last week, so they've already done all their mock-ups. I think most of it is MT-09 exhaust, and then they just had to get a can that fits in the belly pan. But what my idea is going to be a little bit different. It's going to look very similar to this, a mid-high mount. So I don't have to keep it up in the belly pan. Mine is coming out like this. So that's what I'm going to start with, and then I'm going to tune it just for the exhaust once I put the exhaust on. And then that's kind of it, because it's not really about having horsepower. I'm going to get outran by leader bikes, guaranteed. But the fun of the bike is what I'm looking for. The fun of the bike is what I'm getting it for. And I just had to have it. I could have bought the Aprilia RSV4 factory a long time ago, but I've always been holding out for this specific bike. Now it's here. So that's what I'm going to put right here. The only thing that you guys won't know is what color I'm going to get. Y'all see that color when I get the bike. But for right now, you just know the R9 is coming to the garage, guaranteed. So, I mean, a little bit of rambling. I didn't really want to make a long video, but I'm just make this video for y'all to give y'all a little something because the goddamn bike did just get released. And I need to be at these release dates to ride these damn bikes. Guaranteed, man. I'm going to make that a hustle for my future on what I do with this channel. I'm going to edit this up real quick. I'm going to get it out to y'all hopefully the same damn day. And I'm fucking with it. Yamaha YZF R9, brand new evolution to the Super Sport range, coming to this garage that's already full of Yamahas, because I'm the dad bod god, a quarter of the ride squad, and I ride all these Yamahas pretty damn hard. And we out.